Good morning. I've just got up. I haven't got ready, and in a moment the plasterer will knock on the door and I'll need to toddle off. Good morning. It's 7:30 in South Australia. I received quite a few responses to my short, my YouTube or Instagram short. In the short, I talked about using labels such as crazy and what sort of people use the labels or describe another person as crazy, unstable. Another one is, I can't even repeat the other ones. Let's go with unstable, mentally unwell, crazy. I said that these words are not appropriate because they're labels, they're demeaning, they're unkind, they're cruel, and they lack good intent, to say the least. I received quite a few really strong responses, and I found it interesting. I had responses such as rubbish. I had unkind responses about myself. More than as a YouTuber, we receive these as part of the course. I received more than I would normally receive. The responses I received always started with a sarcastic or aggressive start. Rubbish, and then followed on. Or a comment, personal, unkind, and marginalizing. I wanted to lay it down the line here clearly and succinctly. If somebody, so in the short, I say that we should never call another person crazy or unstable or mentally unwell. Why do I say that? Firstly, if somebody is struggling with their mental health, the last thing we should possibly do is verbally point at them and say, you're crazy. Number one, there's so many points here. Number two, what does the word crazy mean? If we define the word crazy, it has no meaning. Apart from the fact, describing any person with one word is marginalizing, demeaning, it paints them with a brush of invisibility. The word crazy has no meaning, and its simple and unadulterated purpose is to be cruel, to control, to undermine, and to apparently win an argument by cruelty, bullying. That's the word crazy. If we look at mental health, and I suppose as someone that's been a specialist mental health worker, I'm tired of this. Haven't we got to the point in the world where we can put our arms down and start giving a beep about people? If someone has mental health problems, we care, we listen. We don't go, you have mental health problems. And on top of that, we all go in and out of mental health. Our physical health, we go out in and out of physical health. So we may have a cold one day, and the next day we may be well. Psychosis is not a dirty word. I have worked with so many beautiful families and beautiful people that suffer from permanent psychosis or a condition of permanent in and out of psychosis or occasional psychosis. Any one of us is capable of psychosis. It's the way our brain works. Just as our lungs can have a cold and infection, our brain can go in and out of lucidity. So the word psychosis has a particular definition in mental health. Then there is the pop culture word psychotic. You're just psychotic. You're a psycho. The word psycho, I can feel my skin prickling. Why? Why would we call another person psycho? Why? Why? Let's answer that. To hurt them. These words, calling somebody crazy, psycho, unstable, or mentally unwell. I've heard people say, you need to fix your mental health. You're mentally unwell. Oh, great. Great for pointing it out to that person. How is this helping? By pointing out to somebody, oh, you're drowning. Why don't we get in and help them? Sarcasm. I'm not a sarcastic person. I just feel we've got to this point in life where we can start being consistently compassionate. It starts with who we are, then the thoughts we use, then the words we use. Are we so primitive that we're still going to use the word crazy, unstable, you are mentally unwell, psycho, or using people's diagnoses, whether they have them or not, you're bipolar or whatever else? In mental health, we are schooled. I'm very lucky to have incredible schooling in mental health because of the beautiful employers I worked with. In mental health, we are not permitted to ever use a diagnosis because it doesn't support the person's health. Oh, you've got bipolar. Oh my goodness, some of the best mental health workers I've ever worked with experience bipolar. What's the big deal? What is the big deal? Seriously? If I hear somebody call another person crazy, I immediately, as a mental health worker, think that person has a particular state of mind. That state of mind chooses to use an unkind word, to minimize another person, to be cruel, to attempt to bully. When somebody uses the word crazy, they are making a clear comment describing themselves. I'm not saying they're describing themselves as crazy. The word has no purpose except to emotively be cruel. I found it interesting that my passionate short received many comments that presented as being from people that marginalize. And I want to state our role here, and I'm certainly not perfect at doing this. I'm flawed like the next person. But with our flaws together, we can, with vulnerability and humility, consider our thoughts, redress, and have hygiene factors about our thoughts, pick ourselves up and recalibrate our thoughts to be kind. As a human being, not being judgmental is difficult, but we can map our thoughts and go, perhaps I should have walked away from that conversation, or perhaps I need to spend some time processing this issue. This is before the words we use. Haven't we got to the point as people with good intent that we have the skill and the insight not to use words such as crazy, psycho, unstable, you're mentally unwell? Oh, great. Thanks for telling that person. How helpful. Let's not point at people who are drowning. Let's get in the water and give them a hug or send them a life raft. Each of us is capable of erring, poor intent, and making mistakes. But we have several steps. We've got our choice to think, our thoughts. We can redress, change, reframe. And then we have the words. Why? Why would we use a word that is simply unkind? Let's take the word crazy and call people out. Not in an unkind way, but when someone uses the word crazy, perhaps we can assist them in some way, help them, support them, redirect them, and say, I'm not sure what you're experiencing at the moment, and I care about you, but using the word crazy is unkind. and I will not share space with any person that uses such an unkind word. But I'm here for you if you would like to discuss why you choose to marginalize against another person. Thanks for listening, guys.